Microsoft is building an ad program that will let brands advertise in Xbox games. So this is something I think created a lot of chatter on social media. A lot of people are wondering what this means going forward and if this is a good thing or if this is a bad thing. But what they are looking at doing here is they're trying to place ads inside free to play Xbox games, and they're looking for companies with ad tech technology who are going to be able to create in-game inventory and work with ad agencies to place these ads in the games. And there's actually an article here where you can go through that they link to with a bunch of companies that are already putting ads into games. And in particular, one that is interesting is this one here with Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard themselves actually have their own ad network, such as putting ads into Candy Crush. And we know when this whole deal went through with Candy Crush, or with Activision Blizzard, Candy Crush was such a huge acquisition for Xbox. I guess deal hasn't gone through yet, but you guys know what I mean. Candy Crush is such a big thing for them to get into the mobile network, and the amount of money and the amount of people that play that game is absolutely insane. And there are in-game ads in that. So they say here, in one deal, Pringles placed reward videos on Candy Crush to promote its chip flavors. The videos were followed by interactive ads that emulated Candy Crush and invited gamers to stack chips to create their own flavors. Activision Blizzard said the campaign resulted in a 1.3% click-through rate, which is nearly double the platform average without the additional interactive ad. And I mean, free-to-play game, mobile games, ads are very prevalent already. This isn't something that's anything new, something that we've seen for a very long time. And Xbox is looking to expand their ad network, create an ad network to put more games into free-to-play games. And the reason they want to do it is because they say it will boost Xbox's limited ad inventory by adding more games that brands can advertise in, and by allowing more developers to sell ad space. And I mean, it makes sense for free-to-play games. Is it something I would want to see in terms of seeing ads in video games that we're playing through that you spent full price on? No, but it's not something that's new at all, because we've already seen ads in multiple different games. I was actually just taking a look. It's actually interesting. I was thinking about this, and I was just looking if there were ads in older games, and I remember in Madden, there's always been like advertising. Now, I don't know if this is equivalent to what they're talking about here, but then I was looking, Madden 08 had this screenshot here, and I remember I typed in like Madden Snickers, and there have been in-game ads all the way back in 08, and I'm assuming even before that in a lot of sports games with the sponsors of like the NFL, the NHL, the MLB, right? Their ads are already in those games. So in-game ads isn't anything new, and it's not new with games that you've paid full price for. And what Xbox here is trying to do is put these in-game ads into free-to-play games in order to give more money to the developers and give more money to help them grow their company and to be able to make more games. So in terms of their plans, they haven't given us any information on this. They say they're always looking at ways to improve the experience for players and developers, but don't have anything further to share. And currently right now within Xbox, if you're on Xbox, you know that there are advertisements right on the dashboard. I'm not sure if developers can pay to have their games advertised like higher up within the Xbox store, but I'm assuming they can, or if they can pay to have their games highlighted within Xbox Game Pass. I'm assuming that's something that they do as well. And so it's just the way that they're going to continue to be able to make money and to promote their games, which it's not surprising that this is happening. They continue here saying Microsoft is worried inserting ads into Xbox games could irritate people who don't expect to see ads when playing on consoles, so it's moving cautiously and intends to create a private marketplace where only select brands can insert ads into games in a way that doesn't disrupt the gameplay experience. Microsoft has loads of consumer data collected from searches on Bing and behavior on its sites and software. One of the sources said Microsoft has no immediate plans to let advertisers use that data to target people on Xbox, which that's the thing, right? You think about the way of the internet and the world, they're literally listening to everything you're saying. They're literally, you type one thing in Google, and then you go back on your browser, you get ads for that one thing that you searched like hundreds of times. That happens to me all the time, unless you guess you have ad blocker, other blocks of these ad networks, but it's something that's employed literally in everything. So it coming to free to play video games on console shouldn't be surprising to anyone. It's going to make its way there, whether we like it or not. It's just going to happen. Where I would see a big issue with this is, are these ads going to make their way into fully priced games? And I would say yes, they are at some point, because we're already seeing it across, like I showed you Madden 08, where their Snickers was in there. I mean, that's an advertisement for Snickers. I mean, it's point blank. And we've seen it in other things, such as if you just type in-game ads on Twitter, you see a lot of things here. But one thing that I completely remember, and people say, and people, I've shown this multiple times, and I remember when I was playing through Death Stranding, by the way, I absolutely just hated that game, was the Monster Energy drinks, which is like, this is the most obvious types of advertisements within video games that, I mean, right in front of your face. This person says, yesterday, Kojima is totally joining PlayStation Studios. Best move ever. Book it. Today, oh my God, Xbox is going to sell ad space in free-to-play games. The gaming world as we know it is coming to an end. And then they have the pictures here, which I completely remember this stuff. And I was just like, wow, just product placement at its best. Literally getting people to go out or showing monsters, because I mean, a lot of people play video games and drink monsters and drink energy drinks and all that type of stuff. So the ad space stuff, it's already happening. It's already there. We see this year, NBCU adds, I guess NBC Universal adds in-game ads to its sales roster through a partnership with Anzu. And I guess this is just like a random racing game where they have McDonald's ads on the billboards, which I could see happening with tons of games going forward, just having ads randomly on the sides when you're driving through and you'll see them. And for free-to-play games, I don't think it's a big thing to worry about. I think that if they're not intrusive and they're not taking away from the experience of the game, it's okay. It's how developers will make more money. It will give them more revenue. And it's how they'll be able to continue to expand. If it's an incredible free-to-play game, hey, maybe it doesn't sell very well. I mean, maybe not a lot of people play it, but they're able to make a bit of ad revenue to go forward and continue to fund their studio, then maybe you will get a sequel from it. So I don't think it is that terrible. But there's some more quotes here. They say the problem with doing that is there are regulatory controls and privacy releases relevant to each platform, and they're not cross-platform compatible. He's talking about using consumer data to target ads, which that would be super annoying. If I were to read between the lines, it'd be like a 10-year goal, but that has serious hurdles, and Microsoft is really strict about their data. So it looks like they're probably not going to be using the consumer data that Microsoft currently has. And believe it or not, we all play on Xbox. I'm assuming everyone here in the chat plays on Xbox. They already have all of our data of the things that we like, the things that we search, the games that we play, the snacks that we eat when we're playing our games, the beer that we're drinking when we're playing our games. They have all of that data. And I mean, nothing you can really do about it at this point. So in-game ads, I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't, especially for free-to-play games, as long as it doesn't hinder the game itself, as long as it's not being pushed into fully priced games like we've seen with other examples here with Death Stranding, with Madden, and I'm assuming this stuff with Madden is even carrying over into current games. I don't think it's that big of a deal. So I don't understand the outrage fully around this, but what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this stuff? I'm gonna read some here through some of these comments. No ads in games. Please, I'm bombarded enough on media platforms with boring ads or irrelevant ads. And yeah, I agree. There's so many ads all the time. You, like I said, you say something, you search something, you're just bombarded with garbage. And even if you're just interested in something, you do a Google search. You don't want to buy the product. Maybe you're just slightly interested. You didn't know what it was. You get constantly bombarded with ads. So it's just the way it is. Beer commercials. Other than that, not a fan of ads. Beer commercials. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised that if they implement this Xbox ad network, that I'm going to start getting beer ads on my Xbox dashboard. Not that it will make me really go out and buy a game, but that would be pretty annoying. Some other stuff here. You don't mind ads if it's done right. If it's in free to play, it keeps the developer alive. I think that is done right as long as it's not hurting the experience of the game. The question is free considered Game Pass? Game Pass is not free. Well, yeah, Game Pass isn't free technically, but the amount of value you're getting when you pay for Game Pass is just way more than the amount you're paying. And maybe the ad network is going to be another avenue that Xbox is going to be able to go down in order to continue to provide all of that value. We know Phil Spencer has come out and said that it's sustainable. They are making money off of it pretty much. Like he has a lot of people are out there saying that Xbox is losing money and they're just burning cash. And from what Xbox has said, and from what some analysts have said, that isn't the case. That's something that we do know, but we don't know the exact numbers. And maybe this ad network will help them just increase their overall revenues with the service, which will be able to give us more games. Free is Warframe. I wouldn't be surprised if Warframe started getting ads in there. Did you get Plume, did you get a $10 promo credit Microsoft is giving us as a part of the spring sale? Andrew, I did. I got a $14 one actually, but that's probably because I'm Canadian and our dollar is shit. So I got a $14 credit, not a $10 credit. I was very surprised when I saw that come up. At first, I thought it was a scam. And I was like, no, this is directly from Xbox. And I went through the rest of my messages and yeah, got that credit, which is great. I don't know what I'm going to buy. I really want to play WWE 2K22, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to spend it on that, on like a yearly release game. Not sure. May wait for that to go even further on sale, but there's a bunch of stuff that I think I can get into. There has been a lot of in-game branding, as well as Quantum Break, for example, has Nissan branding all over its levels. It's not new. Yeah, exactly, Mike. I agree. It isn't anything new. And people who are like outraged about this or saying that this is something crazy and new and this shouldn't be happening, like if we go through Twitter, I'm sure we'll see some people talking about it. It isn't anything new. It's nothing to be too concerned about. It's nothing to be too upset about, especially because Xbox is pretty much saying they're only going to be doing this in their free-to-play games. They're worried about how ads are going to affect the consumer, affect the gamer. They don't want to be too intrusive with their ads. And I think that's a good thing. But I do think eventually we're going to start seeing this more and more. It's like with anything. I was thinking back about the other day. I watch a lot of hockey, watch a lot of NHL. And for pretty much my entire life, the only ads I ever saw were on the boards around the rink, right? And now over the last couple of years, you start seeing ads on the, like, projected onto the ice, not actually there, but like they're projected onto the ice, they're projected onto the backboards. You see teams with ads on their helmets and all this other type of stuff. Like even with like the NBA, I remember for the longest time, there were never ads, but now there's ads on the jerseys, and it always infiltrates its way into things that make a ton of money. Video games are continuing to grow. It's a massive industry. Ads are going to infiltrate their way. It's something that is almost inevitable unless we literally stop playing these games, and then there's no money there. So it will make its way in there. I just hope they do it right. I hope they don't make it too intrusive where it affects the game and just makes it annoying. My guess, just like YouTube, to avoid ads, need to pay more with the money spent on Activision. They don't need the ad cash. Hey, that's true too. I mean, who knows? The Activision deal is very, very interesting in the sense that once this goes through, which I'm sure it will, we saw something else come up this week. I may talk about it later. It's just it's not that interesting. It's about a group, like a social group wanting to them to vote against the shareholders to vote against the deal. But anyways, it's once it goes through, which I'm assuming it will, I'm very interested in what Xbox is going to do and how they're going to handle it, because I don't think they should just sit back and let it go. Right. I don't think they should just be hands off as they've done with other studios. They've mentioned with like Bethesda and all the other studios they've acquired. I think they really need to be able to leverage all of the Activision studios to make sure, one, they don't get bad PR anymore from the bad workplace environment, and make sure that the people are happy to come to work and that they have a good place to go to work. So they definitely need to be hands on that. But two, what are they going to do with the overall advertising of Call of Duty, like the biggest video game franchise in the world pretty much? And how are they going to use that in terms of like selling the Series S, advertising on the box, advertising the 120 FPS, and trying to push that into people who only play Call of Duty or maybe only play Madden and Call of Duty. That's literally all they play every year. How are they going to advertise a console like the Series S, $299, 120 FPS that you can buy today, attach it to a 144 hertz monitor, and get up to 120 frames per second steady pretty much, or I don't know if it's dynamic or not, but just be able to compete online with those specs. And I think that's something that's going to be huge for Xbox. Like the advertising potential to push consoles with the Call of Duty and with even all the other franchises of Activision Blizzard is insane. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do with that. All right. Gyro sandwiches are amazing. They are, Bob. I have lots of gyro sandwiches here. In Canada, we have a lot of like shawarma shops everywhere. Like every corner, shawarma. You can get gyro. You can get chicken. We also have a lot of Greek. So I've had a lot of gyro sandwiches in my life. Hey, what's up, X1 the Gamer? Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in on Plumecast and for watching the channel for a long time. Really appreciate it. I want to jump back into ESO. I played ESO way back in the day, and I haven't jumped in a while. No problem with ads as long as it doesn't impede my gameplay. I agree. As long as it doesn't impede gameplay, then I'm good. And honestly, if I'm paying full price for a game, I would like to see like pretty much no ads. If I'm paying $60 for a game, $70 for a game, whatever platform you're playing on, I would personally not like to see ads. But if I'm playing a free-to-play game, I can completely understand why ads are there, and I would not be upset about that.